Yesterday, I said if Arkansas played well, Texas A&M was not good enough to beat them. Arkansas does not play well, and Texas A&M pounds them 82-64 to eliminate Arkansas from the SEC tournament. This is Arkansas basketball recap. I'm Daniel Price. That's Jacob Price. Man, what a absolute disaster on the offensive end. Look, we talked about it a little bit yesterday. Texas A&M had a lot more to play for. Texas A&M is a good defensive team. And when a good defensive team has a ton to play for, I get this stuff. I don't want to take anything away from Texas A&M by talking about how bad Arkansas played, because I do think that Texas A&M made them play bad in a lot of the game. So props to their defense. I want to give defense credit when they should get credit, and I think Texas A&M deserves a lot of credit for the game. I think Buzz Williams deserves a lot of credit for a quick game plan and what he decided to do. But Arkansas also could not have played much worse. But I mean, we didn't play horrific on defense, but we didn't play good on defense. That was a very meh defensive effort, and they just got rolling. And I tell you what, the 3 games in 3 days didn't seem to bother Texas A&M one little bit. Chris Likes was absolutely horrific in that game, and JD Note didn't do anything. Our decision making under pressure. I mean, it's almost like Jalen Williams is the only guy that can make a decision under pressure. When they were collapsing on the ball. I mean, Chris Likes was doing insane things with the ball under pressure when he would get double teamed. Note was doing insane things. Jalen Williams is the only one that could make a pass. I mean, I know he's taller than everyone else, but it was bad, man. We let them shoot over 50% from the field. You can't win that game. We got destroyed on the boards. You can't win that game. Just bad.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with some of that. I think that Texas A&M played well, and you expected them to. They've been playing well. They have a lot to play for. Their season is, possibly on the line. I mean, they might have been in even if they lost a close game, but definitely they needed to win that to assure themselves a chance at a postseason. But there's definitely things to be concerned about. I mean, that game, you can lose that game in a lot of different ways and not feel too bad. You can have a team come out and just murder you from the 3-point line. I mean, just get hot and shoot like one of those games where they shoot 65% from the 3-point line. They bury you. And they did shoot well, but it wasn't one of those games. And
they shot 53%, made 8 out of 15. That's super efficient, if nothing else.
That's what I mean. It was efficient, but it wasn't one of those games where they snowed you under with 3-pointers or and I actually think that was one of the worst ways to lose that game. You could lose a close game and it would be heartbreaking, or it could be a lot more painful to lose at the end because it's a close game, but you still can tip your hat. That was borderline embarrassing. I mean, that looks like what you should do to a team that's like a non-conference opponent that just doesn't have the athletes, comes into the SEC from some small conference, and you're paying them $250,000 to come there, and they just can't even dribble the ball against you because you're just all over them with faster, stronger, more long and athletic guys. That's what it looked like. It looked like, the way that we were playing defense was, I'm going to try to stay in front of you and have my hands straight up. And and they made some tough shots over some decent defense, but their defense was, you're going to catch the ball and I'm going to try to take it away from you no matter where you are on the court. Like, you got the ball in your hands, I'm reaching for it, I'm grabbing for it. I'm not going to let you do anything you don't want to do.
Why did Likes keep sticking the ball out in front of him all low and standing there with it like he thinks other guys I know you're low to the ground, but you're have that ball out there like you don't think anyone else can touch the floor or so. What are you doing?
Yeah, but dude, I mean, Lights didn't have a good game, but it was everybody. It was like they all lost their minds as far. There were so many times where they drove and then left their feet
Mhm.
with nobody to pass to.
And man, and then on the other end, the other Texas A&M did the exact opposite of that. It just drove, didn't leave their feet, collapsed defense, and was kicking, just swinging the ball around like crazy. I mean, it was like we were driving and doing the exact wrong thing, and Texas A&M was driving and doing the exact right thing. Honestly, the only people that I thought on Arkansas that played decent was I thought Amude played all right. But we were, I mean, shoot, dude, if Amude hadn't done some stuff, we were in for I mean, that was a blowout anyway, but I don't know what would have happened if he hadn't
Mhm.
found a little bit of offense. And I actually thought Devo played okay when he was out there. I thought Likes was terrible, Note was terrible. Tony wasn't terrible, but I mean, but we kind of were. Everyone was terrible on defense.
They definitely got all the loose balls. They, I mean, they wanted that more. But what, like I said, what's concerning about that style of loss is you can't play like that's okay for, everyone lays a stinker every once in a while in the middle of the season or whatever, but we're to the point now where that's your last one.
Mhm.
Like, you play a game like that, you come out with your head up your butt, making lazy passes and trying to just be like, I'm going to stand in front of you and play defense while you attack me with your defense, and it's over. You know what I mean? Like, and everybody has the same thing to play for now, because now it's the postseason.
Yep.
March Madness is the next game we're going to be playing, and everybody's got the same thing to lose, which is this is over. And if you come out there and play with that kind of an effort and let a team that's more desperate than you or feels more desperate than you come at you like that, and you just lose your head. Because in the like I said, the thing that's concerning is it didn't get better; it got worse.
Well,
Like at halftime, they
there
didn't
was a
make
minute there.
adjustments.
There was a minute there. Like I think we cut it down to 6. I thought we were going to come back and win the game. I'll be honest. Like I thought, like man, we have played like trash. Like we're gonna finally put it together this last 12 minutes and come back. We got it down to 6. I was like, okay, like can we just freaking make some Mude hit some threes, and I thought Note was back on the floor, and I was like, all right, let's like, can we do this already? And then no, we can't. And it happened because we were turning the dude. We didn't. Okay, so our turnovers. So we turned the ball over 15 times, which it felt like more than that, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I don't have the stat in front of me or here, but they were the worst kind of turnovers too. Like just horrible turnovers. And I don't know how many points they got off those turnovers, but it felt like a lot. It just felt like the wrong kind of, because Texas A&M turned the ball over 13 times, so it wasn't like we got killed in the turnover battle, but ours just seemed like worse turnovers. I mean, like we're going down the other way for dunks or transition threes or whatever. Then listen to the stat line for the Texas A&M as a team. They shot 31 to 61. That's 50.8%. You're not going to win a game if you let a team shoot 50% for the game.
Mm-hmm.
They were 8 of 15, 53.3% from the 3-point line, 12 of 15 from the foul line, 80%. You can't win that game. And then they had 38 rebounds to our 25. So we got out rebounded by 13. That's just you. I mean, that's you getting your ass kicked in every category.
And it looked like that. I mean, our defense, I would actually say, okay, so there were 3 shots that they made that they shouldn't have made. So they did get some lucky ones to fall in, like that one off the top of the backboard. There was another one, a guy like flipped it up and got an and one. But so they had a few things go their way, but
not 18 points worth.
Well, no, and also you could just tell if you're watching that game on defense, when the ball would go up, sometimes we make an okay defensive play and make them shoot like a floater or something, but then they would be scrambling for the ball. And if they ever got a second chance, we were so turned around and we were playing that basketball where you're just like turn around and swing at a guy. And they actually missed some shots that they actually easily could have made, some layups and putbacks where we were out of position behind them. They probably could have called a foul on us a few times when they didn't. And on the other end, it was actually a little bit of the opposite. I mean, there were some fouls that could have been called down there too, but we were catching the ball. Like, so what I'm saying is they were getting the ball and we were like swinging and they were missing some that they could have made. We were catching the ball in sometimes with great position, good pass, and looked like it's a for sure layup because the guys, you're in the right position to score. And somehow they would recover. And we missed a bunch that, like I said, part of it's on us, but part of it was on them. We looked too casual. We'd catch the ball and be like, "Oh, I've got this," and now I'm just going to put it in. And they're like, "No, you're not." And
well, this is one of those a few games, and this has not been the case for most of the year. But we've always said that, hey, you might beat Arkansas, but you're not going to play harder than Arkansas. That was not the case today. Texas A&M played harder. They played with more urgency. They were way more aggressive. They hustled more. Felt like every loose ball they got. And on defense, they were scrambling around and getting to stuff. And with us on defense, they were, and this, I'm going to, credit to them, but they got us out of position so much, and we just weren't recovering well at all.
Well, and then there was that, and then there was sometimes where when we were trying to mount a comeback, it felt like, I agree with you, when Amude hit that corner 3-pointer and it got it within 6, but then they brought it to us instead. It almost felt like we were like, okay, we're close enough now. We've still got 15 minutes to go. We can do this. And it's like, that's the wrong attitude. This is when you step it up. And we walk by, when we make a mental mistake, like they would be pushing the ball down the court and we'd let that white guy walk into a wide open 3. He's been missing all of his contested ones. That's all he's out there to do is shoot threes. And we just somehow
go right down the pipe and dunk it.
And that one, well, but the thing is, the one that got him fired up, I'm telling you, that guy was getting bullied on defense by our guys. I mean, because he's not super fast, he's not super athletic, but he was having to take really hard threes. And then we let him walk into that wide open one right after Amude had hit one. And so we went from like, 3-pointer, let's go. And now just let that guy walk in and get it right back. And that got him confidence. And from there, he drove in, did a turnaround jump shot, then hit another corner jump shot, then caught that ball. And we just like laid him right to the basket for the dunk. And that was when it just was like it collapsing on us. And a lot of that was mental. Like we were making mental mistakes on defense that we don't normally make. And honestly, that's one of the few games where I would say we obviously got beat at every single position. And I would say including coaching, because I actually didn't like, I don't know if they made adjustments and the team just didn't execute them, but I didn't see anything that happened in the second half that looked like we were we're going to move Jalen Williams to a different spot and try to post him up, or we're going to try to get Note in the corner, like move the defense, because they were obviously packing it inside. I didn't see anything that we did different. Any adjustments that were made, if they were made, they were worse. And I actually, and it's not just hindsight being 2020, I hated when he put Note back in the first half. He put him back in, and I think we were only down by 7. And it felt like, man, this sucks. We've done this 3 times now this season where, Note is out for 10 minutes of the first half. All you guys have to do is weather the storm. Don't let this lead balloon. Keep it to around, 8 or 10. We'll come back in the second half with 3 fouls to give, and he can just go crazy. And I have no idea why he put him back in with 4 minutes to go. And I also was going, as soon as he put him in, I was like, oh, I don't like that. We're not, it didn't feel like it was getting away from us yet. It felt like it was getting away from us in the second half in the last 10 minutes. But in that first,
I would guess that he regrets that. He has that rule for a reason. He broke his own rule. That might have been the last time he ever breaks that rule. Because what it did is he came out there. Then Note couldn't play like Note on defense for the first half of the second half. He was trying not to get that 4th foul. I like that rule, and I would have left him on the bench.
And like I said, you could kind of see it if like it had gotten to 17 points or something, and you're like, this is just going to balloon to 30 and we're done. But they had they'd played without him for like 10 minutes. And the lead had not gotten bigger. When Note went out, it was like 6 or 8 points.
Well, Note was kind of a non-factor in this game.
That's what I mean. And even when he was playing him, he wasn't doing that much. So, and although Likes was playing poorly, that was another thing. It's like I was confused why he didn't put Devo in more in that first half and let him run the point. I'm not saying, I mean, Devo's had perfectly capable of playing as bad as anyone out there, or as you know what I mean, like, but Likes was not playing good. His the length of their guards was bothering him, and I just thought I was surprised that he didn't put Devo in more in that first half instead of putting Note in. So yeah, I honestly didn't love Musselman's game coaching in that part, and everybody, even like I said, and even as well as Amude played on offense, he also had some silly turnovers and left his feet a couple of times. And I mean, everything they were doing, like when they get trapped and they pass, they were, you know how you can set your own guy up? I mean, it's almost like throwing a ball over the middle and letting him get, his clock cleaned by a free safety or something. I mean, Lights did that a few times where he drove in, started to get doubled, and then like threw the ball, but he threw it to Williams' shoulder where the defender was, so the defender could get his arm in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
it's just not good passing, not smart, playing a little panicked, playing behind all the time. Anyway, all that to be negative to say, hopefully we got that one out of our system, but I would have much rather have lost a really tight, well fought, both teams playing aggressive defense and like just a slugfest where you're like, man, those two teams are getting after it. That's a hard-nosed Buzz Williams team and a hard-nosed Musselman team, and they went after it. And instead it was like, we kind of got our asses kicked, and hopefully we do not have another one of those in us for at least another 10 games.
Got to root for Texas A&M to win the whole tournament now. And I guess the one thing that the consolation you have is they were doing that same thing to Auburn, and I mean, that's just a team that is doing that right now. So that's you weren't the only one. Like, like they went and shoved Auburn around too. We'll see. I mean, dude, if they can do that 4 days in a row, that's nuts. I don't know. That's hard, but maybe
it'll depend on how much of a battle Kentucky and Tennessee is. If those teams have
I'm definitely rooting for Texas A&M tomorrow. That's for sure. Not just because I want to say we lost to the team that just mowed through Auburn, Arkansas. Well, actually, Florida, Auburn, Arkansas, and then Texas or Tennessee or Kentucky, one of the two. Not just because of that, but just because, I hate Tennessee and Kentucky more than I hate Texas A&M. So, so why not? And also let's have another SEC team in the field for sure. Like, I mean, I mean, they were talking about it. The announcers were, and I was agreeing. I agreed. If they're not in the field, that's insane.
I think they're in now.
Yeah, I mean, I would think they'd have to be.
They're in with that win. I think they're in.
But I will remind us of this, that last year we did lose in the SEC tournament. I believe I meant to look this up and I didn't. I believe we lost our first game in the SEC tournament last year to LSU. Either way, we did not play in the SEC championship last year. I think we lost in the quarterfinals, not the semifinals last year. And then, went on a run to the Elite Eight, so it happens. And
this game really doesn't matter.
And maybe if it's going to serve a good purpose, the purpose would be to slap Arkansas in the face, get those guys being like, hey guys, we can't come out like that.
Yeah, I think it will do that. I mean, like I said, if I'm concerned, it's just that I hope that, I mean, it's not exactly a confidence booster to play that crappy on a big stage, right before you go in there. But maybe it will be a wake-up call, like, you've got to bring this energy to them, because like I said, I like Buzz Williams teams. I like how hard they play, but I'm like I said, that team's not as good as, they're not 20 points better than us. You know what I mean?
No.
And they're not better than Auburn.
I stand by what I said. I don't think Texas A&M can beat Arkansas if Arkansas plays well. I just think Arkansas is better. But
and there's
but that's not Arkansas playing well. Dude, we scored 2 points in the first 6 minutes of the game. That's that's insane. 2 points, 6 minutes. You're more than 25% through the first half. You have 2 points. That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, it was really bad. They were. I'm trying to think back to all the plays where somebody ill-advised drove when there was obviously a guy set up there waiting, and we uncharacteristically got charges called on. I mean, because and they were like, yeah, I mean, Tony just drive in there and just jump on the guy like it's not going to work. And same thing with Jalen. It's like they just didn't have it. And I guess one of the things that annoys me about it is in the basketball, like, I don't know, moral hierarchy or something. I get annoyed when you get beat by a team that is probably not even as good as you and they spank you. And it's mostly because of mental mistakes and effort, things that are, there's times where you lose, especially in the past. We've talked about this now. There's more parity now, but if you get beat by Kentucky, especially like 5 years ago, when it's like, they're just better. They're just bigger, stronger, faster. They're better than you. There's something about that that's just like, that's the game. You know what I mean? Like, they're better. When the team that you're actually better than beats you at your own game, like out efforting you, out, and you're making mental mistakes because they've got you all flustered, which is what you try to do to other teams. It's something about that is extremely annoying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll see if the basketball gods are just have it in the cards for Texas A&M, because I will say they made some crazy stuff. They shot nuts. I mean, they shot over 50% from the floor. Who knows, man? Maybe Texas A&M is going to win the SEC tournament because the basketball gods say so. I mean, when you get shots bouncing off the top of the backboard and dropping in, maybe there's just nothing you can do, and we'll see if that's the case. What I hope is that this didn't bump Arkansas off I don't think it will, but hopefully it didn't bump Arkansas down to the 5 line. I really like the 4 line better than the 5 line. I think it's easier. I think it's easier to get into the Sweet 16 on the 4 line than the 5, because you end up having to play that high. You had to play a higher seed to get there, whereas if you're in the 4 on the 4 line, unless there's even if there's upsets, you don't have to play so you're got a favorable path. So I hope that tomorrow we get that 4 seed. But still rewinding back to 2 months ago, we're still in a much better place right now than I would have actually than I thought we were going to be in.
Yeah, and like I said,
I thought we might be in the spot that Texas A&M is in.
The thing I'm grateful for is that nobody got hurt or anything, because if you ask me, like, would you rather get spanked by Texas A&M and have everybody going into the big dance healthy, or win the SEC championship and have Tony or somebody roll their ankle? It's like, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it'd be nice to win an SEC championship, but what's really important now is March Madness, the big dance. How far can we go? And hopefully everybody can rest up, get completely healthy, and we can make a good run out of it.
Yeah. And you know what? Next year we won't be talking a bunch of smack on Will Wade, because he has been fired. So that was weird. That was weird breaking news.
So I'm not crazy. Like, I'm right. That guy's weird.
I don't know exactly what the recruiting violation was, but they didn't.
Did I say that on the podcast one time, that he's got to be paying those players because there's no way like a parent is looking at him and going, yeah, I want my son to play for that guy. He seems nice.
No. So he's, by the way, he's won a lot in the years he's been there. It's not that.
Well, yeah, when you pay people to come there, and no, I don't know.
I have no idea what I don't think anyone knows. I mean, somebody knows. Somebody who fired him knows what the allegation is, but it must not have been.
Is he fired for conduct, or because it can't be, because I mean, his record's good and stuff. So
No, it's because of that. It's because of the allegation. Yeah, because it's in his contract that if he has a level 1 or 2 infraction, that they can fire him. I don't think they have to pay him anything, and apparently that's what it is.
Yeah, there must be some. There's some smoke there. There must be some fire.
Yeah.
If they're firing him.
So LSU, stay away from Musselman. I can't see him leaving Arkansas to go to LSU. I don't think that's going to happen with the number 2 recruiting class in the country coming in next year. But don't try. Don't roll up any trucks and money or anything like that. I don't want to see any of that. And because I know that I'm sure LSU fans, because every fan base is delusional, and I'm sure that they'll say, "Go get Musselman. He beat us. He beat us 3 times this year. Go get him." I don't.
LSU basketball doesn't have the same thing that like their football team does, and even
but they'll get someone good though. They'll probably be another. So Missouri's fired Conzo Martin. Georgia has fired Tom Crean, and LSU now has fired Will Wade. And my guess is that all 3 of those spots will be filled with people that you're like, oh, dang it. Because that's just how the SEC has been. You're going to go see Murray State's coach is going to be in here who's gone to, I don't know how many straight tournaments and has the longest winning streak in the country at 30 games or something crazy.
Yeah, or who knows? There's always a team that you really haven't heard about that makes a little run in the tournament, and then you go, well, who are these guys? And then you look and they've won their conference for the last 4 years, and that coach is getting plucked.
Yep. So we'll see.
Chicago Marymount was like that, right?
Chicago La Jolla, whatever it was.
Their coach, they won their league like for 3 years.
Oklahoma now. Yeah. So we'll see. So we'll have some new faces in the SEC next year on the sidelines for Missouri and Georgia and LSU. All right, man. I guess we'll leave it right there. We talked about it. We'll see. I'm not sure. I need to look at the time and see exactly when the selection show is.
It's always right after the SEC tournament ends.
Yeah. We'll see. We may or may not do a short show tomorrow talking about Selection Sunday and seeing who Arkansas is going to be matched up with and what their path forward looks like. We look at their side of the bracket and stuff. We might do that if we're available.
If we don't do it tomorrow, we could even do that Monday.
Yeah. We might try. We'll try to get it out. We'll try to do something like that before either tomorrow or Monday. We'll do this. We'll do something like that.
Do some brackets and fill them out and see what the picks are.
There you go. Yeah.
Absolutely. It might be better to do it Monday only because those brackets won't come out until late tomorrow evening.
Yeah. And, maybe that's what we'll do. We'll talk about.
Take me a while to flip my coins.
Maybe that's what we'll do. On Monday, we will talk about Arkansas's path, and Jake and I will fill out the Arkansas basketball recap bracket, and then we'll see how we do. Sound good?
All right.
All right, man. I'll see you later.
I did.